this button and say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Hey, man. How's it going?
It's swell. It's going really, really good. Having a good day today. It's going to be even better, though, because we're talking about this Prominence Bird. Stellar name for a deck. Absolutely.
I mean, that's half the reason for making it, to be honest.
So, obviously, we're doing a deck doctor here on, it looks like a set 3 Fire Tokoyami list.
Yeah, I haven't looked at set 4 builds yet, so it's just set 3 at the moment.
Fair enough. Hit me with the pitch. What's going on here?
So, basically, Prominence Burn, cool card, very powerful, but it's basically a 7 diff, right? And that's kind of cringe.
True.
But what if you were, say, to play a Stun Grenade, Nitro or something, and then a Summon Dark Shadow, and then Prominence Burns on a 5? You don't have to commit anything.
Yeah. I dig it.
I mean, is it better than the ranged package we usually play on Tokoyami? Maybe not. Is it possibly fun and cool? That's the plan.
That's the plan. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing about the range package, right, is it's the reason to play ranged as opposed to anything else is the amount of stun that you get off of a giant ice wall and the amount of draw that you get off of frigid, right? And how easy it is to trigger frigid. This card has stun. This card has stun. This card has stun. This card draws a card. This draws a bunch of cards, right? This draws cards. Like they're like I think they're very comparable. The only other reason to play fire, the only reason to play chaos and not fire, honestly, is this right here. You have 6 of these as opposed to having 30, right? Yeah. So I'm on board. I think that everything you got going on is very, very cool. So what is the what do you need my help with? The pitch is there, and I love the pitch. This is a very sick card.
Yeah. So I guess the things are, so actions, there's too many actions in fire. I don't know which ones to use, really. This is sort of where I settled on. So with the attacks and foundations, there's a lot of kind of concessions to block zones, where there's cards I'd love to play, but it's in my block zones. But that might be a case of we don't care is the correct approach, and we're just going to half block some stuff and hope, and then just kill them on the swing back.
Sure.
And the other side with the attacks is probably the thing I'm least settled on. Again, there's concessions there to attack zones, right? All of the whammies are high. Prominence birds are high, ruins are high, nitros are high. So again, there's stuff there that wouldn't necessarily be my first choice, but it was like a concession to making sure they need to worry about all 3. The last thing, I don't know why the fastest play was in the sideboard, but anyway, is the one attack in the sideboard. Okay. Yeah, the one attack in the sideboard. I looked at that card and I thought, that's the 1.3 million for this lineup. Right? It's the low they need to worry about. If we can get a momentum, that top enhance could be like 10, right? Yeah. Because you're self-milling yourself so much. Mm-hmm. And I thought, even if you don't get momentum, because you're not really poking probably that much, that bottom one, we can trigger that with Nitro, and we can trigger that with Prominence Burn. So even the baseline's great. And then I read it again and realised that says discarded and the other 2 says remove. So I really wanted that card to work, but I don't know if it does, or whether actually just having it there for the threat of that top, if you ever get no momentum, is good enough.
Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion is I don't think it's quite there, but there's we can chat about it.
But yeah, I think you could easily sling this with 15 damage in this deck, right?
Yeah, and that's without using the ability. that's just this guy, huh? I'm so close to doing a little bit of looking.
Okay. But yeah, they're originally in the list and they just came out for the detonation launches. And yeah, there's other cards like I'd love to run Turn to Dust. Is that the one?
I literally just put it in your sideboard.
It's another high, right? That was my beef with it. It's another high. It's another 5 diff.
Okay. So let's chat real quick about the first off the idea. I think the idea is good, and the reason again, all of the attacks that you can play on this deck are good and worth and like have synergies and really good. The only thing that is missing out of Fire Tokoyami is the amount of 0 diffs that we have to play. Literally, that's it. Does set 4 fix that? Maybe, I don't know. I think they get one more. But I want to talk about some of the attacks that we can play while still using this package to make things happen, right? First and foremost, Fire wants to play Twisting. It just does. The amount of actions that you have available to you with Sugar Rush and Go for the Win and Summon Dark Shadow, this card is just like insane in this deck, and it doesn't matter that your other stuff doesn't combo off of it. It really doesn't matter. It's just good. So if you can find the spot for it, it's probably worth it. This card is probably a better card than what Arctic Conflagration does. As much as I like this card, it probably is just doing a better job.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was like the Arctic and Flag and the Touch and Decay were just like extra mids, basically.
Yeah.
And that were Fury, so they work with stun grenades, they work with the other stuff. Because obviously I'm already running the 4 ruins, because you can't take those out, and then non-Fury. So I was trying to not have too many of them in.
Yeah, it's just Twisting Azure and Sugar Rush Power Up like together, just like not a fair combination. They're just genuinely not fair together. +2/+6 for not a cost is like insane, especially when you get like, because essentially +3/+6 for not a cost because you auto trigger the enhance. Yeah. Next deck is just Rapid Punches. Kind of crazy you don't have this card in your deck. It's a low attack. It's a 0. It's a Fury. It lets you draw a card. It's just more.
I can't remember why I didn't. Again, I think it might have been block zones.
Sure.
And that's why I've got the Stomp instead of it.
If you were playing,
because that's got the low block.
If you wanted to make this Blast Rush Turbo thing happen, I would suggest Instant Explosive Release in the deck. I think it's very easy to make the first move hit. So that like even if it's just one Instant Explosive Release, it's probably a better tool than what Detonation Launcher's got going for you. Just because this is a 5 diff that is forced to be your opener. Whereas this is like they have to block the first move, which I'm down for because it means it's harder to block this move, which is not the first move, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine playing Dark Shadow Ruin as the first tag, and you look at them and go, you have to block this move no matter what. You have to. Or you have to block this Instant Explosion Ignition. You just have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to because I am playing the single copy of Instant Explosive Release. It just does a lot of mind games. If you can figure out the like how to destroy cards, how to turn back Cyclone is insane in this character. It already starts as a 4 low for 6. If you can figure out how to destroy things in your stage, it plus like a grenade abrasive is like just really good. Ice Storm is like a one of, or even Ice Storm in the sideboard, even though it doesn't have your keyword. Just Breaker 2 mid block is just like worth it.
I mean, it's still my favorite card. So
Turn to Dust is your Frigid or your Giant Ice Wall. It's the stun 2 move that they have to care about. And it just feels good as like it could be a game ender because it could be a 5 high for 6 with EX2. So that's what you spend your momentum on. If they are at 6, they just kind of lose the game. And then lastly, you can take kind of everything you got going on here and kind of just make this like a Recipro Extend, Recipro Burst deck. Like imagine doing the same thing you're doing with Prominence Burn, but with Recipro Burst if you have any amount of momentum at the end, right? If you want to do like this Instant Explosive Release Detonation Launcher Recipro Burst, like just playing this card at the end of a string instead of the Prominence Burn. There might be we're not going to talk about this deck, but I wanted to put this on your radar for like the next version of the deck that you want to like experiment with. I think that you have something here of like we'll play Detonation Launcher and Ignition and Instant Explosive Release, Shadow Ruin, Recipro Extend, Recipro Burst, and then maybe just Hellflame Stomp because Stomp is a kick to tactically use Extend, right?
Yeah.
Like Extend into Stomp is fucked up good, right? It's an 8 low for 6, 8 low for 7, 9 low for 8. Yeah, I guess, man. Yeah, man. Like, what a sick 4-diff. What a sick 4-diff. And you don't want to interact with either of those two moves, like, because that's not ruin. Yeah, that sounds lame as hell.
Yeah, I guess part of the reason is that, like, I think there's a lot of sort of defaulting to a range package and then tweaking that range package, but I think there is room for trying different things in the Tokoyami shell.
Especially because of how like Tokoyami works and how quick he is. Part of the strength of this character is if you do decide to do something a little off the wall, it'll catch your opponent off guard that maybe they won't be able to figure out in 2 games, right? So you take this like some sort of competitive event, not that we have those, but you like you play out your first turn and then they see you check a literal pile and then they go, I don't know what the fuck your deck's doing, which means they don't actually know how to prepare defensively, and then you just like slam them in 1 turn and then you scoop your cards up and like, okay, let's go to the next one, and they're like, why are you playing a bunch of bad cards? Well, you know how to weave them together beautifully, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so leaving the range package, we're gonna not touch this at all, even though I think this is very cool. Leaving the range package, the cards that I don't like Conflagration. Yep. I think it probably should just be Turn to Dust because it's a little more versatile, unless you really care about the 4-diff, 5-diff. What are your thoughts on that?
It was more attack zones, right? Just because we've got the Prominence Burns, we've got Ruins, we've got Nitros. They're all like the high attack. So it was more just it's another high attack and a sea of high attacks.
Sure.
That was the only reason that's not in the deck.
I guess that's fair. So there's the idea of zone mix-up, but there's also the idea of zone overload, right? If they have to hold the high attack for Ruin, that means that this move is free to hit them, right?
Yeah.
And so like this zone overload capitalizes on bad RNG, as opposed to zone mix-up capitalizes on bad players. More than, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, you know, you see Tokoyami, you hold a high block anyway, because you know Ruin's coming, right?
Correct. Yeah. And you're not going to block the Turn to Dust. You're going to block the Ruin. Right? Yeah. But yeah, I think Stomp is insane. I think Grenade is insane. I think Touch Decay is a little too cute for what you got going on.
Maybe it's again, it was just like that last two sort of mid attacks, really.
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 could very easily be 2 Twisting Azures, right?
It could be Azures or it could be Rapid Punches, right?
Yeah.
I think Rapid Punches is insane in this deck, and this should be the number 1 card you put in your deck. Am I not? It still thinks I'm Mr. Compress. It thinks that I'm on a different thing. Livid. Could not be more mad. Give me 1 second. Okay. Set current deck. Okay. We are back. Okay. I think that Rapid Punches is like the main reason to do this. So as the opener move, it's a 5-low for 4 that draws you a card. If you decide that you want to summon on it, it's a 6-low for 6 that draws you a card if they don't interact with it. What an insane card to do.
Yeah.
Like this card is better than this card, sans the block, right? It's still that off zone. They have to hold highs and lows now because like getting smacked for what an insane poke this is. There's so little input you could do. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones where, like, you know, you play your punches. Like, am I fishing for momentum or am I going in? Like,
right? Yeah. It's very hard to read what's going on there. I would play this at a 3 of minimum. I think we cut the Conflagration. I think it's just not worth it, man.
No,
and then the Detonation Launcher being a 5-diff, this card doesn't do enough as an opener, right? Your 5-diff slot should be this thing if needed.
I mean, you can probably get rid of the Touch of Decay.
Yeah, especially because like you're not allowed to play you can't play the action, right? Yeah. Okay. What's this number got to be? It was 22, right?
Yeah, usually around about 22 in Tokoyami.
Okay.
Like that's where I'm sort of happy at. Like the 22 and then 58, 59.
Have you played this deck yet?
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
This is mainly because I only own two nitros at the moment.
Oh.
So I haven't been playing much on TTS and stuff. I've just been
Let's
busy.
take and slam this at a 2 of then, and so we can make this a real deck, right? Let's take
Okay.
and do you have 4 rapid punches?
Yeah.
Let's put rapid punches up to the 4 of, and let's do a 1 of Turn to Dust.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've done here is we have made the Fury package as consistent as we can, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful opener, good string card, heavy hitter, good string card, the V card, flow card, kill card, right? We have this list, and as you find I don't actually like ignition in this deck. I don't think rapid punches need to be a 4 of. That's when you get to start like experimenting with Azures or instant explosive or more turn to dust or whatever. But I think this is a solid base to get started with experimenting and testing this deck. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think Nitro is almost like the slot for the Azure because it's the pseudo current fob, right?
Yeah.
Azure removes itself from its thing. Nitro, you just remove it on the next attack, and it therefore doesn't count towards progressive. So that's kind of what it's doing.
Correct. Yeah. But this you have to play the card first, if that makes sense, right? Because it removes after, as opposed to this has the bonus happen during.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is easier to interact with. This you can't interact with this. This removes this cost. Enhanced card pool remove : so like even if they like negate it or cancel it or whatever, this card left. And so like there's pros and cons. It's got a better block. It can remove on block, right? You can block with ignition and then get rid of it. Like there's lots of stuff going on here. Let's talk about the actions.
Yeah.
I want to see seizing at a 1 of, and you should put the other ones in your sideboard. I don't think Tokoyami needs this card.
No.
I think that there are not onboard pieces that absolutely decimate him. And if there are onboard pieces that absolutely decimate him, you have irrefutable. Right? I would rather this just be something else. But it is good
I'm happy
to
to cut the seasons. I'm not married to him.
I think the one seizing as the opener, just because it gives 2 speed, right?
Yeah.
Like giving your Hellflame Stomp the +2 speed, and then you can either give it more speed or more damage or whatever, right? This card is good enough. I love Go for the Win. I just want to take Sugar Rush and put it up to a 2 of. This is one of the primo reasons to play the fire symbol is in Tokoyami is this card. This is it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that this card is incredible. Like saying that any of these cards get +2, +4 is just not fair, man. Especially with drawing extra cards here, if you touch them, right? Like, man, they have to block rapid punches in Tokoyami. They can't let you have more hand size. They just can't.
And like, Sugar Rushing a Providence Burn's pretty good.
Sugar Rushing Providence Burn's pretty good. Yeah, man. My move got +4, +5, +5, +6 with 1 shadow. Whew, pretty okay. This is probably what I would run for my actions, and then the weakest action we have here is just Go for the Win. Go for the Win is I'm trying to kill you on turn 2 kind of card, and this card feels okay, but with this card being a 7th of your hand, right? An 8th of your hand if you count Summon Dark Shadow. The question is with the other 7 cards, one of which being Summon, can you get there? Right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a little lackluster because of the way this deck wants to work. That's just like all you have to think about with Go for the Win. The response is also pretty good because this card makes it ignore, but that should not be the reason to put it in the deck, right? That's icing.
No, it's the Destroy Foundation, try and keep going, and then having a 1 low block.
Let me go look for another set of cards. Give me 1 second. Foundation 0. Quick to act internship in danger. My brain is telling me that we should be playing more zeros and just take out less of the fluff, right?
Yeah, they're just not good. Is
You're
the problem.
you're
Like
absolutely
I'm
right.
playing keen observation just so I've got 6, and I don't like doing that.
So
And that was a choice over the other one, just 'cause it's got a slightly better block.
it also triggers off of Prominence Burn, if that matters at all, and China
Yeah.
Dust. So here is like the thought, right?
Hmm.
With easily excited, right? That card
Yeah.
genuinely is not that great, right?
No.
The reason that it exists is it is a 0 diff, and for 90% of your turn, it doesn't do anything, right? It just sits there.
Yeah.
The same is true with Quick Tag. Hopefully, 90% of your game, this is a blank card.
Yeah.
You don't want to use the ability on this card, because if you use the ability on this card, that means that they had a turn, right? And your cards are just good enough to just kill them before any of this happens. So having a blank card with internship, having a blank card with in danger, but if you build 6 on turn 1, you just kill them? I think that that's worth it, right? And that might be like the way to think about it, the way to do it. What's this number going to be at?
Again, sort of around this. I mean, honestly, it's Tokoyami, so the lower the better. But
Yeah.
I'm happy anywhere between like 55 to 60. Like 59 is generally what I've been running Tokoyami at in Chaos, so I've tried to keep them similar.
In Chaos, I'm at 57, so I am right there with you. And then block zones. We don't necessarily care about our block zones, just because like blocking is just like good, or our character is just like good at blocking. Yeah, my personal opinion is like, let's look at difficulties one more time. What are our 2 diffs, right?
So we can cut probably at least one lineage, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think lineage is fine, right? Like you go here. I think latent skill is really important because we don't have the this is our the midnight
Frigidity, I think.
the midnight card.
Yeah, Petty Squabble.
Petty Squabble. Thank you so much. This is our Petty Squabble, right? But as opposed to once per turn, it's once per game. And so, like, we need to see these. I think Frozen could go down to a 1 of, right?
Yeah.
Exclusively because we don't have access. Like, the best way to do it is, like, this is a bad version of Feeling Cute, right? This is our Feeling Cute, which we have to play at a 4 of. How you feel about Arrogant?
It was there for a low block.
Let's get out of there. We don't care about blocks. We're killing people. That means we get to put this up here. Let's refresh and see what this has done. Still at 56. I don't care about my block zones. I mean, this is fine because I'm going to be taking the last Irrefutable, putting it in the sideboard. The at least one of the heroics, putting it in the sideboard. If I'm that low block starved, I'll be fine. And I have a 1 low block here and 4 1 low blocks here, right? I will be fine low blocks. Just gotta hold the right. We just gotta hold them.
Yeah. So what number are we at total?
We're at 58. We're at 58.
Okay. So we could get another 0 in there. We're back at 59. That's probably fine.
Could. I mean, it's either Keen. It's probably just Keena, right? Because like Keena actually has text with with these 2 cards. Not that like it's a good thing, but like it's just a 0. And having the difference between having 6 zeros and 8 zeros, it means that like your build 6s are going to be just slightly more consistent. Press conference. So it's interesting. I like press conference in this deck. I like it a lot. I actually
we're very much stringing, right?
Yeah, I almost want to put it down to like a 1 of, just because like how many times as you've played Chaos Bird, how many times have you like ended your attack string and like not needed this?
Yeah.
Right? So like, wouldn't it be better if this was something like Ice Gliding? Wouldn't these be better
I love Ice Gliding.
if it was something like it could just be in danger at a 2 of in danger, and that's now increasing our 0 diffs now to 10 as opposed to just 8, right?
Fastest Flame is the speed first enhance, right?
Yeah, it is the bad version of Let's Fight Bad Guys. If we had extra room, right? If we ended our deck and we were at like like let's say we weren't playing Seizing or Go for the Win and we wanted to actually play more Foundations, like this could easily be like one of the first things. Flip, my first enhance of the turn is to give +2 speed to, it'd be like a 1 or a 2 of, right? Just give +2 speed to my turn of dust. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is a 6-eye for 5 off the bat. Haven't stun 2'd, haven't done anything. Like it just feels just good enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
My brain is just saying double in danger to replace that, just because it's that
ice gliding, I think, because it's a little bit defensive as well as giving the offense option as well.
Yeah. And like best case scenario in our Chaos Fire, in our Fire Tokoyami deck, I don't give a shit about this card. It's there to turn sideways. That's it. That's its job. Yeah. It's there to be built on turn 1. It's there to turn sideways because this guy does all the heavy lifting for us. All of it. But on those defense turns, it does happen to do a thing, right? Think about how much defense is in Chaos Tokoyami. None. There just isn't any. There's a little bit of disruption, but there's no real defense, right? Like the best defense that you have is like, I'm personally playing like 1 copy of Struggling with Studies.
I play a couple of Internship because I love that card. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Not Internship. No, Encouraging Training Partner.
Encouraging Training Partner. Oh yeah, I put all those in my sideboard. Yeah, because I just gotta kill motherfuckers. How dare they decide to play the game with me? Yeah, this is probably where I would start with my attack lineup, right? And we don't even have a. Oh, just kidding. That's the wrong symbol. Yeah, we don't have things like capture evildoers or like.
Yeah. There's
like a lot of schmoves that we could do with this list, but I like what's going on here. We're at 59. Is that too many cards for you?
No. It started at 59, so okay. we're Gucci.
If you feel like it's a little bloated, just kill the press conference and drop it down to 58 and see what happens there. Yeah. And then
part of me almost wants to kill the Seizing and Go for Win and just play 2 more zeros.
Seizing. We're Seizing. Seizing.
But I suppose Seizing is sort of a 0-ish.
You could just cut Seizing and Go for the Win, 4x these, and slot the Seizings in your sideboard, and you probably won't miss them, truthfully.
Yeah. For like, if someone's playing something that is a problem, I can't think of the top of my head.
Because like you already have Irrefutable. Like you don't need Seize the Advantage. And and you're not even, I don't think you need Seizing in this deck, truthfully. I think let's cut the Go for the Win, because I don't think it's going to get as much value as you want. We're going to take, and let's leave the deck as is. 57, right? Yeah. Why bloat the deck with a bunch of extra cards? Less than, we've got 10 out of our 57 cards are going to be 0 diffs. And then the rest are all spam, right? Now, like look at this number again. We got rid of so much up here. We're going to be building really, really heavy. And that's just all this character wants to do. I want to build 6 on turn 1, if not 7, and then just fucking murder you. Especially with how big these bombs are. Chaos does not have a bomb like this. Or I guess it does, but it's Indiscriminate Shock, and it has to be played at the very end of the chain, and it can't be played alone. This card is just allowed to be played as your first move, and then you just chump check them from there. You know?
And it's like, oh, you blocked my ruin, well, catch the burn, or the other way around. Or, it's just a shame the burn speed doesn't carry over to the ruin.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, that might be good, right? So, like, what's the best line that we could do? We could do, like, a stomp into summon, into burn, into ruin,
summon,
and then we've removed a card, right? And so now when I play my stun grenade or my rapid punches, it's gonna get the 2 speed off of it after they have dealt with this card as well, right?
Yeah.
Or even like another Hellflame Stomp, right? And that
to be honest, at that point, if you've played another summon after the ruin, you could probably put a turn to dust on the end there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it getting the +2 speed after they've dealt with the ruin, this thing is going to hit almost as hard, right? Be 5,
And then you Sugar Rush
6, 7, 8. Yeah, Sugar Rush that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really unique lines, or even the fact of like Island in chat says, you gave my burn -3 speed and butcher the damage, remove itself to just burn the 3. I'm down, right?
Yeah.
Like there are certainly some interesting lines that you're allowed to take that make this deck not brain dead, right?
Yeah.
Unlike the Chaos list, which is so brain dead that it wins nationals, you know? Yeah, this is probably where I would be. Yeah, I think this is where I'd be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for submitting the list. This deck doctor took this is a 30-minute deck doctor. That's crazy.
Okay.
All right, man.
Well, sorry to take up your time, but thank you
You're
very much
good.
for your time.
I looked down and it was like we were 10 minutes in. I looked back up after being so emphatic about it. I looked back and it's 30 minutes in. Whew, a lot of good info here.
Cool.
All right, man. Stay on the line long enough for me
Thank you very
to
much.
shoot you the list, and you have a good rest of your night, okay?
You too, man.
All right.
Cheers.
See ya.